いよいよ準決勝大一番となりましたけれども、まず選手たちに一番今日の試合で臨むこと、どんなところになるでしょう。
2戦合計でということなので、まず1戦目、いい戦いをできるようにという話をしています。
広島というチームは非常にアビスパと似ていて守備も堅いイメージもあるんですけれども、今日の試合のポイントは長谷部監督の中ではどのあたりだというふうに思われますか。
似ているとは思いません。だいぶ上を行っていると思います。失点をしない、得点も取れる、ボールも握る、非常にいいチームだと思います。それに対抗して自分たちが、少しでも攻撃をする、失点を少なくする、そこが大事だと思います。
最後になりますけれども、ホームでの戦い、この重要性というのはすごくチームにとってあると思いますけれども、そのあたりの抱負、意気込みを聞かせていただけますか。
ファン、サポーターとともにこのスタジアムで戦えること、意義があると思います。それが準決勝であるということ、またそこに大きな自分たちの価値を見出して、2戦目アウェーでいい戦いにつなげられるように、今日90分しっかりやりたいと思います。
いよいよ準決勝大一番になりましたけれども、今日の試合、選手たちには一番どんなことを望みますか。
Ja, was erwartest du für unser Spieler heute? Schon ein Halbfinale in Levain.
Ja, es ist, ich denke, für beide Mannschaften ein sehr wichtiges und auch sehr interessantes Spiel. Beide sind bis ins Halbfinale gekommen und jede Mannschaft möchte natürlich dann auch ins Finale. Wir werden versuchen, heute defensiv eine gute Leistung zu bringen, damit wir im Rückspiel noch Chancen besitzen, auch ins Finale einzuziehen.
ここまで残ってきたチームですので、自分たちだけでなく、その他のチームもファイナルに行きたいというふうには思っていると思います。今日特にですね、ディフェンスラインをしっかりディフェンスでしっかり守って、次の、第2戦に向けていいポジションで帰りたいというふうに思っています。
福岡は非常に守りが堅いというチームなんですけれども、印象、そして今日の試合のポイント、答えられる範囲で教えていただけますか。
Ja, für uns ist natürlich ein Schwerpunkt, ihre Defensive möglichst im Verlauf des Spiels auch zu knacken. Wir wollen versuchen, schnell zu kombinieren, schnellen Fußball anzubieten und den Gegner dadurch in Bewegung halten.
相手のディフェンスラインを崩すためにですね、早いコンビネーションから相手を動かしながら崩していきたいというふうには思っています。
今日はアウェーからのスタートになりますけれども、最後に意気込み、抱負を聞かせてもらっていいですか。
Ja, heute ist Auswärtsspiel in der Halbfinale, erste Runde, zweite Runde zu Hause. Ja, wie ist denn unsere Einstellung?
Ja, wir wollen eine gute Grundlage für das Rückspiel bilden am Wochenende und möchten dementsprechend natürlich auch ein gutes, möglichst ein sehr gutes Ergebnis. Aber wie immer im Fußball, genau das möchte der Gegner auch. Also wir werden uns erstmal auf diese 90 Minuten konzentrieren und versuchen, ein gutes League-Cup-Spiel abzuliefern.
そうですね、できるだけいい形でホームの試合につなげたいというふうに思っています。ですがもちろん福岡も同じように考えていると思います。非常に面白い試合になるというふうには思っています。
Welcome along to the best Denki Stadium for this, our coverage of the first leg semi-final clash between Avispa Fukuoka and Hiroshima in the J.League YBC Levain Cup. Great to have you with us wherever you're watching across the world. Kick-off mere moments away here. Avispa Fukuoka chasing their first ever major trophy in their history. While Sanfrecce Hiroshima, a club that have tasted far more success across the years. Indeed, it is the very first time the Avispa Fukuoka have made it this far in the competition. Video assistant referee team are on standby and can potentially be used for major incidents across this one. Shigetoshi Hasebe greets the home fans. He's in the home dugout. This, of course, a two-legged affair. Michael Skibby leading Hiroshima. German hoping that his side can get a good result to take back for the second leg. As I mentioned, Avispa Fukuoka have never made it to the semi-finals before. Indeed, they only made it to the quarter-finals once before this season. That was back in 2016. While Sanfrecce Hiroshima also made it to the semi-finals of this competition for the first time in their history, but have won the J-League 3 times before. A run of 3 victories in 4 seasons in terms of domestic title wins back in 2012, 2013 and 2015, as well as winning the second division back in 2008. Both sides have had to quite a long campaign to get this far. You may remember that teams that were involved in the AFC Champions League got buys from the group and the playoff stages. That was Kawasaki Frontale, the Yokohama F Marinos, the Vissel Kobe and the Urawa Red Diamonds, but only one of those 4 has made it this far. That's the Urawa Red Diamonds, who are in action right now in the other semi-final, which is just about to kick off. As the Urawa Red Diamonds face Cerezo Osaka. Our focus very much here at Best Denki Stadium. These two sides have played 10 games already to get this far. 6 in the group stage, 2 in the playoff stage, and then 2 in the quarter-finals. The group stage is going on from February through till May, the playoff stage in June, and then the quarter-finals, 2-legged affairs in early August. Of course, we'll have the second legs of these semi-finals Sunday the 25th, but for now all focus on the first leg here. Avispa Fukuoka up against Hiroshima. And away goals pivotal as well, with things being used to decide things if level on aggregate across the 2 ties. A purposeful carry forward. Hiroshima win a free kick in a dangerous position, so defending to do for Avispa Fukuoka here. Yuki Nogami fouled. Early chance to get the ball into the box. Hiroshima having the better of the head-to-head between these two in recent meetings. And they've got a chance to get themselves in front here with a good delivery in. Whipped in swinging ball, flicked on, pinballing around in there. Hiroshima will get the first corner of the game. Mostly no shortage of sportsmanship there between Muhammad Delgado and Sultan Tanabe. Kakuto Notsuda to swing the corner kick in. It's a good delivery, headed only half away. Second ball in from Notsuda wasn't so good. Managed to recycle it well though. Kashiwa. Kashiwa's cross will be catching practice for Kazuke Osako. mention that Hiroshima have the better of the head-to-head. We've won both of the meetings between these two this year. 1-0 winners at home in the J-League on the 10th of April, then 3-1 winners away at Avispa Fukuoka on the 25th of June. Little header back. He's taken a bit of a knock there, Saki Murakami, from the challenge by Tsukasa Mitsuta. It's just a touch late. Had every right to try and go for it and make things awkward, the attacker. Long looking for the wing backs, so going to be really important in this game. We suspected that both sides are going to use them, and they certainly have, it looks like, from the opening minutes. First touch of the ball in goal for Hiroshima for Kisuke Osako. They'll get another now from the goal kick. Yeah, it does appear that both sides are in something of a 3-4-2-1 with inside forwards in behind the striker. Tend to be in Japanese top 5 football that 4-4-2 and the 3-4-3 are the two most commonly used systems. Slightly panicked back pass there. That hands a corner to Hiroshima. To Avispa Fukuoka, beg your pardon. What can Yodi Crew make of it? Speaking of fullbacks, he is one of those down the right flank today. It's a real onus on players in those positions in a 3-4-2-1 system to provide almost all of the natural width. Cruz ball in, headed up, but certainly not away. Good shielding just to allow them to get possession back. The out ball is errant. So one of these sides is going to be getting to YBC J-League, the Levain Cup final for the first time in their history. Mitsuta playing tango with the touchline, loses out. Neat pair of headers. Almost ran for Vieira. And now it does. Vieira on the turn. Well, he managed to make Osako work. Albeit that it is a save that you would expect to be made. In fact, it's Murakami back there. Does Vieira a threat that Avispa Fukuoka will be all too aware of? You might be aware of the threat, but it's a whole other thing stopping it. He scored 2 goals in this fixture. And they got a 3-1 away win in the league against Hiroshima. absolutely worked. Mitsuta cuts inside. Just trying to work it out of that tight corner. It's good pressing. Been impressed with their ability to press from the front in the early stages here. Hiroshima certainly quietening the home crowd. That's always part of a semi-final cup tie. So that was, in turn, very good pressing from Jordi Krug. Almost worked out in something. Krug inside, feeling that he was fouled. On we go, and that's a good advantage played by the referee. It's a pair of fouls in the end. Bumped off the ball there, Wanma. There is a appealing, it would seem, for further punishment. Referee so far neglecting to go to his pocket. Referee's often a bit reluctant early on in a game to do so. Don't want to set a precedent for losing control of the match potentially with a lot of yellow cards. This free kick in a good area has got the home fans into decent voice. A 3-2 home win here against Shimizu in the league on Saturday. Nakamura, and then a double from Yamagishi either side of half-time doing the trick after Yamahara's goal had them behind. Thiago Santana pulled one back for Shimizu, but Avispa held on for a 3-2 victory. Avispa moving up to 14th in the table from that win, getting out of the relegation zone. Hiroshima in a much better state, third in the table. So it would be Hiroshima, no doubt, coming into this tie as the favourites. Avispa Fukuoka 1 point clear of Kyoto Sanga, who are third bottom in 16th. So that would take them into the relegation playoff, although there's still a fair few games left. Could be Jordi Krug, the Belgian. Fancy hitting it away from the keeper. Depends on that, or whether they want to curl it just inside the post and bring it back from starting outside the goal. Will be Krug to hit one. Straight into the wall. Hiroshima with a player down. And we'll go back now. Belgians powerfully struck free kick, not quite having the right angle. Mentioned the league table, not many rounds of league fixtures left now. For those unfamiliar, in the Japanese top flight, 18 teams. Home and away format, so 34 regular season games. So just 4 left for Avispa Fukuoka, trying to beat the drop. Hiroshima in third and final qualification place for the AFC Champions League. I think with a very outside shot of winning the title. First corner of the game for the home side. In by Krug. There's a header on it initially. Eventually it's collected nicely there by Osaka. Sasaki. Kashiwa. Kashiwa will look to build up this touchline. Ball forward. It's a clever pass for Mary to chase. Persistence from the forward wins them the throw. Something to do for Michael Skibby on the touchline. Hiroshima desperate to get themselves into the final of this competition. Hiroshima, the runners-up in 2010, finalists in 2014, but they've never won it. Sent forward, one for Vieira to chase, but a little too officious in his physicality there. Game of head tennis. And Crow has nodded it on. Offside flag up against Mary. Might be wondering in the top left hand side of the scoreboard, particularly if you're not fluent in Japanese, what exactly all of that means. Of course, it's the score clock on the left hand side, and at the top is the score in terms of the match, 0-0 after a quarter of an hour, but the numbers just underneath that are the shots taken and then the shots on target in brackets. So home side of Avispa Fukuoka with no shots on or off target yet, hence the 0 and then the 0 in the brackets. Meanwhile, 1-1 for Hiroshima, as they have managed to test out the home keeper Masaki Murakami, albeit it wasn't a particularly difficult save for him to make. Recycled that well, Hiroshima, trying to move the ball quickly and with purpose. Falling behind, the offside flag stays down. Oh, what a back heel that is. But eventually it does go up. I've seen this often in the modern game. Offside flag would have gone up there once upon a time. The assistant's hesitant to raise it, wants to allow play to continue first. And that's because of the video assistant referee system, with the idea that they can always go back and check it. Worked cross through by Mitsuta. Good anticipation and a lovely little ball inside as well from Sasaki. Now Hiroshima can try and find something. Nagami. Good feet from Kashiwa, and then a cross. Kashiwa with the header. Kashiwa, I think, was briefly appealing for a penalty. It would have been the softest of penalties had it been given. Crossing chance, back for Crow. He does like to roam in from that right flank. Or he doesn't quite find Mary. Now Sasaki. Mitsuta. Still Mitsuta. I'd have to say, it might be 16th, I should say 14th, after their victory at the weekend against third in the league. Avispa Fukuoka 14th, Hiroshima third. It certainly doesn't look like it so far. Pretty even contest here, despite the fact that in the league, Hiroshima are 20 points above Avispa Fukuoka. Kashiwa. Great feet. Still Kashiwa. Pass wasn't the best, in truth, in terms of the weighting of it for Kawamura. They've got away with it. Kept possession at least. Morishima. Remember that the sub-dynamic of the first leg of this semi-final tie, one of them, is the prospect of an away goal that could make such a difference to the complexion of things. There's already been a goal in the other semi-final. Suzuki Osaka have gone 1-0 up against the Urawa Red Diamonds. Just the second minute of that one. So Suzuki Osaka with the lead. Satoki Uejo, the forward, with the goal. It's only his fourth goal in any competition this season, I should say. Foul on Morishima. Chance to put a good ball into the box here. Chance for Hiroshima to grab an away lead. And that all-important away goal. Get it away with relative ease though. Ball clipped in. Nodding towards goal. Crawley's missed it! And they've bounced! Hiroshima have the lead! Takumu Karamura with the goal. And the away side strike first in this semi-final tie. How important could that prove in the final reckoning? A desperately needed away goal. A horrible moment for Douglas Crawley. And there was Takumu Karamura to pounce. Has been in the goals recently, got 2 against Shimizu in the league on the 3rd of September and 1 as well in the Emperor's Cup in a 2-1 victory against Cerezo Osaka. So, Takuma Karamura's goal means it is Hiroshima that strike first in this J.League YBC Levain Cup semi-final. It's his first ever goal in the competition. It's only his 5th ever goal for the club. Joined at the start of this season from Hime, where he'd been playing his football in the J2 League. He's always been capable of chipping in with a goal from midfield, though. That's 3 in 12 in the league. And that goal I mentioned in the Emperor's Cup, and now he scored in a J.League YBC Levain Cup semi-final. See what it meant there to Takuma Karamura. Now the home fans are very quiet. It's the small pocket of Hiroshima fans that have made the trip, who you can hear in the distance. Vieira trying to to that long ball, and then down the other end it was John Mary, who haven't really got in the game so far. Avispa Fukuoka haven't given their striker a lot of service. Trying to win the corner, does really well to win the corner. That's brought the home fans back into some kind of voice. Can they find an equaliser? Whipped in, but overhit. Avispa Fukuoka needing a route back to at least get the confidence of a win at the weekend. It was a desperately needed one. Win against Shimizu coming after a run of 6 defeats from 7 in all competitions, including a loss on penalties against Ventforet Kofu in the Emperor's Cup on the 7th of September. The only game they didn't lose was the 1-1 draw at Sagan Tosu in the league. 5 other league defeats, plunging them towards the relegation zone until their victory at the weekend. Here come Hiroshima again. Good advantage played by the referee, who will come back for the foul on Tsukasa Mitsuta. Hiroshima's chance to double their lead. Really take control of the tie early on here. Suda to put it in. Might shoot from here. Angle might be too tight for it. Suda. Did need a save from Murakami. Didn't quite have the pace and power on it to overly trouble the keeper. Might feel like we've done with a few more runners in there, just disrupting Murakami a bit more there. With a pretty clean sight of it, the keeper. I know that's something sides talk about when attacking set pieces. Suda now to put in the outswinging corner. Suda's ball in. It's only half away. Flicks forward towards Douglas Vieira, but I've seen that a lot of Vieira or John Mary on the ball, the respective two strikers. A lot of this game's been played in midfield. Hiroshima with a player down, and eventually we will stop. Of course, we're not obligated to stop unless it is a head injury. Just seems to have been trodden on a bit there in that challenge. It's not come off particularly well from it, Sho Sasaki. Suter trying to get things underway quickly from the free kick. Something I've noticed today, Hiroshima keen to play the game at a quick tempo wherever possible. And aggressive on the press as well, and they're just starting to increasingly, let's say, in control of this one, but Avispa Fukuoka bringing it out of the back nicely. In towards that far post. Quite one for Juanma Delgado. Can be lethal. I've seen a lot of him or John Mary in the game in that Avispa Fukuoka front line. Morishima dispossessed. Douglas Scrolly just sorting his shoelaces out. His error that led to the opening goal scored by Takumi Karamura. ball in behind. It was an awkward one and good pressure from Mitsuta. Just joining us, Takuma Karamura's first goal in this competition. There's the difference between the sides. His 5th goal this season in all competitions in his first season with Hiroshima. You can see what it meant to Michael Skibby on the touchline as well. Sanfrecce Hiroshima, also known as Viola or Sanfrecce. Avispa Fukuoka have a nickname that broadly translates into English as Hornet, which is Hachi. Cry of anguish and frustration as the ball's given to Morishima. Just too much on the ball through from Sho Sasaki, who, of the 3 centre-backs, Shiotani, Araki and Sasaki, has been the one most keen to step up, particularly from that left centre-back role into more attacking areas. Back 3 system offering a bit of flexibility in that regard. Sasaki is there again, winning it back. Want to run that out for a goal kick, and he manages it perfectly, Kunamoto. To the frustration of Morishima. Michael Skibby in thought on the touchline, the 57-year-old, who's had an extensive coaching career, the vast majority of it in his native Germany. Was recently managing Levain, though, in the Middle East, before joining Sanfrecce Hiroshima. He's had an extensive coaching career with the likes of Richard Dortmund by Leverkusen, Eintracht Frankfurt, and Hertha BSC in Germany. And then he's managed Galatasaray in Germany, Grasshoppers in Switzerland. Also managed the Greek national team from 2015 through to 2018. Before that spell in Saudi Arabia, Al-Ain that I mentioned. And joined Sanfrecce Hiroshima in February of this year. Trophy, as well as securing continental football, would go a long way to, I think, solidifying a very good first season for him in charge. Scully in conversation with the coaching staff. 32-year-old, a key cog in this Avispa Fukuoka unit. In the middle of this back three with Kennedy, Mikuni, Kunamoto either side. time not too far away here. Focus there on Kennedy Makuni, the 22-year-old youngster on the left side of this back three for Avispa Fukuoka. As you can see from that wider shot, the best Denki Stadium here tonight, far from full. I do wonder whether that helps Hiroshima a bit in terms of the atmosphere not necessarily being most intimidating, because some fans making a good amount of noise, but it disperses quite quickly in such a big ground. And at the moment, the main set of fans you can hear cheering are the Hiroshima fans. Foul on Nagami. Foul there. And Hiroshima a free kick in a dangerous position, and again it's been a theme all evening. Tsukasa Suta wants to get things going a bit quicker. I think that's a point that is being raised now by both Mitsuta and Notsuda. Again, the angle is not the easiest one to shoot from. I expect it might be more likely that Notsuda will cross from here, just towards that far post in that awkward kind of area. Try and get it in between keeper and his defence. Just outside the 6-yard box is where he'll want to aim. It's towards the near post instead. Headed by Juanma Delgado. Skippy just, I'm sure, starting to think about his half-time team talk. It remains Suiza Osaka 1, the Urara Red Diamonds 0 in the other semi-final, first leg. Down nicely, recycled for Kashiwa. And Avispa Fukuoka looking to reach the final of this RBC J-League Levain Cup for the first time in their history. This competition was formed way back now in 1992. Sanfrecce Hiroshima, one of just 2 sides to reach the final before without winning it. Hiroshima losing finalists in 2010 and 2014. Kado Consadole Sapporo, the only other side to reach a final without winning it back in 2019. Every other club that has ever managed to get to the showpiece occasion of this competition has managed to, at the very least on one occasion, win it. Nagoya Grampus winning in their first appearance in the final last season. course, be the most valuable player award to be dished out to at that final. Nagaki of Nagoya winning it last time around. Again, it's the Hiroshima fans that you can hear here. Why not? They've had a very good first half. They've got the goal through Takuma Karamura with his header. So there you have early control of this tie. Crow. That's the option down the line. Kunamoto. Looking to make it third time lucky in terms of reaching the final and winning it this time. Lost 5-3 after extra time in an absolute thriller against Jibiri Iwata back in 2010. And were beaten, having lost that one at the National Stadium, were beaten at the Saitama Stadium, which was one of those that was very much purpose-built around the 2002 FIFA World Cup in Japan and South Korea. They lost 3-2 to Gamba Osaka then in 2014. Again in the final. Late clumsy challenge on Douglas Vieira. And that is the first yellow card of this game. It's Kennedy Makuni who goes in the book with half-time not far away at all. Suda to send it forward. Takuma Karamura's goal still the difference, with the half-time whistle mere moments away. Only had 1 minute added on. Can't be far off at all now, you would think. And that will be that for the first half here at Best Denki Stadium. It's a very quiet Best Denki Stadium at the moment because Hiroshima have silenced the home fans with a very professional away performance so far. Takuma Karamura's goal is first in this competition for Hiroshima. The difference between the two teams at half-time here in the first leg of this YBC J-League Levain Cup semi-final. It's Avispa Fukuoka 0, Hiroshima 1. Welcome back to Best Denki Stadium for the start of this second half between Avispa Fukuoka and Hiroshima in the J.LEAGUE YBC Levain Cup semi-finals. This is the first leg, of course, the second on Sunday. You may well have just noticed that Avispa Fukuoka, in trying to get back into the game in the second half, have made a couple of changes. And it's both in defence. It's not often at half-time you see two of a three-player centre-back pairing substituted, but Yuta Kunamoto and Douglas Grolly have both come off. And in their place, Daika Miya and Yota Miyajima. Now, both of those are more than capable and accustomed to playing at centre-back, so that would appear to suggest that it's not necessarily to do with an injury picked up or a tactical change. Remains to be seen whether Avispa Fukuoka are going to change shape and stay in their 3-4-2-1 that they and indeed both sides used in the first half. Avispa Fukuoka looking to reach the YBC J.LEAGUE Levain Cup final for the first time in their history. They've never won a major trophy. Hiroshima twice runners-up in this competition. The advantage to the first half of the first leg, but here come Hiroshima pretty much straight from the kickoff. Laid off, and well, Morishima is saying that he was tripped and should have a penalty. Blistering attack in the first 30 seconds of this second half. It did appear that after he played the ball, Goto Morishima was tripped. There's VAR, video assistant referee systems in place. Both sides have got 5 changes available, although those 5 changes have to be made in no more than 3 instalments. Stop the game becoming 2 stop-start. It's one of 2 players that have just come on, Yota Miyajima, 25-year-old defender. Slightly late in there from Mitsuta. Fast start from Hiroshima in this second half. Looking to quell any sense that after half-time team talk, Avispa Fukuoka will come out and change the momentum of this one. Michael Skibby will be very pleased with what he's seen from his team in the opening minutes of this second period. A second goal really would rubber stamp that. The semi-final, Cerezo Osaka 1-0 up against the Urara Red Diamonds at the break. They've just resumed 2. Here comes the ball from Mitsuta, and Hiroshima do have their second goal. Tsukasa Shiotani scores in front of the away fans. And And Hiroshima are in complete and total control of this tie now. 2-0 up, both away goals, of course, as well. Maybe this is the year they finally crack the YBC J-League Levain Cup, after twice being runners-up previously. Ball whipped in. There at the near post was Shiotani to score. So the 33-year-old defender on target. Doesn't get many, it's fair to say. He's only got 1 goal for Hiroshima previously in the league in 27 appearances. Has scored in the Emperor's Cup this season. That is, much like his teammate Kawamura, his first goal in the YBC J-League Levain Cup. Signed for Hiroshima. Played a few games for them at the back end of the 2021 season. Playing for Levain in the United Arab Emirates League. It's his second spell with Hiroshima. It's with the club from 2012 through to 2017 as well. Very much the club veteran. He's played over 200 league games for Hiroshima. Should say as well, that was created by an excellent ball in by Tsukasa Mitsuta. Well, you do really have to worry for Avispa Fukuoka now. Hiroshima were to take a 2-0 lead back home for the return leg on Sunday. Suda's ball in. Flick on. That was dangerous as well for Murakami in the home goal. Avispa Fukuoka still yet to have a shot on or off target. Up the other end, Hiroshima pushing for more. They weren't that far away from getting even more here. Saka, Shiotani's goal, second in all competitions this season. If you may be wondering what the numbers are up in the top left corner of your screen, and then next to the brackets, obviously 2-0 is the scoreline. Hiroshima in front, but the bracket 0 is Avispa Fukuoka's shots attempted and then shots on target. So as you can see, they quite literally have not tested Kazuki Osako in the Hiroshima goal all evening. While Hiroshima had 4 shots, 3 of which have been on target. Got to remember as well, Hiroshima have got this very impressive home record in recent times. So it's not going to be an easy trip there for Avispa Fukuoka anyway. Never mind going there with them already 2-0 down. Mention that home record. It's worth stating that in the league this season, which obviously cup games are one-offs, but it does give you an idea of how the side have been going. Hiroshima are at home in their 15 J-League matches, won 9, drawn 3, and lost 3. Very impressive on their own patch. Indeed, they're third in the table. finding themselves 8 points off Yokohama, who are top, 3 points off Kawasaki, who are in second. Chance to work something here. Hiroshima does well to keep it alive, and they do have a third. Total dominance for Hiroshima. And the second goal for them early on in this second half now. Avispa Fukuoka 0, Hiroshima 3. Another devastating counter-attack. The home side caught out on the break. Makoto Morishima did very, very well just to keep the ball alive with some trickery. And then steered into that bottom corner beautifully to the delight of Michael Skibby. Second of the night for Takumu Karamura. And well, it might feel a bit dangerous to say this, but it does feel like you can almost go so far as to say as that might be 1 foot in the final for Hiroshima. Not quite. Beauty of sport is the unpredictability. If Avispa Fukuoka can get at least one back now and answer, that will give them some hope for the second leg. It's very much one-way traffic sort of feel about this one at the moment, though. Avispa Fukuoka have got to be careful because this tie is getting away from them very fast now. Sent wide. Hiroshima won't get onto that one. Another double change coming for Avispa Fukuoka, who are desperate to try and alter the flow of this one. Ryuki Mei and firstly Levain to come on. Kitajima making way. As does Yuto Hiratsuka. So he's played pretty much all his cards. Shigetoshi Hasebe has made 4 of his 5 changes. It's now really up to the players to try and wrestle the momentum back. Picture of frustration. Shigetoshi Hasebe on the touchline. work it out of that corner. Cheeky back heel looking for Mitsuta. Trying to work something here. Chipped forward by Morishima. He makes an absolute nuisance of himself. And struck across goal. Douglas Vieira was definitely trying to shoot there. Just dragged it. Now back in. Now a chance on the break. Kane feeling for a corner, and they've got that at least. Still have not had a shot all game of Avispa Fukuoka. Maybe they can change that here. Came off Shiotani, the goal scorer. Fans desperate to get something to cheer here, trying to get behind their side again with the slow hand clap in anticipation. Nordi Crow's corner, and the header is wide. Well, he's saying that his shirt was pulled there, Levain, the substitute. At least made something of an impact, had that nice run that helped win the corner and puts the header wide of the target, but that's still closer than they've come to scoring all match. Not that that's necessarily saying a lot. Turning there to keep the ball alive from Hiroyuki Mei. One back well. Mitsuta. So crossfield. Nordi Crow has got the pace to get onto this. Against Tanabe. Away, it's a poor pass by Levain, and it might launch another Hiroshima counter-attack. Has been a goal in the other YBC J-League Levain Cup semi-final. First leg between Cerezo Osaka and the Urawa Red Diamonds. So we're in front early on, thanks to the forward Satoki Uejo in just the second minute, but equaliser has been found thanks to Yoshio Kozumi, Urawa Red Diamonds midfielder, scoring in the 53rd minute. Crucial away goal. So that one right now looking like a much closer affair than this one. And it is that game, Cerezo Osaka versus the Urawa Red Diamonds, that we'll be covering live. Free available to watch globally on the YBC J-League Levain Cup YouTube page in English. Look forward to having your company for that one as well on Sunday potentially. Red Diamonds, the only one of the sides who have got continental commitments this season to make it this far in this particular competition. Remember, if you are in continental action, you get to miss the group stage and the playoff stage, which is a significant help in terms of your progress when it comes to YBC J-League Levain Cup. Red Diamonds looking for their third title, having won it in 2003 and 2016. Now Cerezo Osaka looking for their second, having won it in 2017 and lost in the final last year to Nagoya Grampus. They'll header back, collected by Murakami. coming together. Luke Kane appealing for a foul. Referee not interested. Hiroshima dominating the story so far tonight here at the best Denki Stadium, which is in the Kata ward of Fukuoka in Japan. Capacity of 21,562, far from full tonight. That has also hosted rugby union matches, including a few international games, very much a multi-purpose venue. Kane is down there. He's up against Notsuda. It's Luke Kane who will get the booking, despite being on the ground in pain. Won't feel any better for going in the referee's notebook. Here's why. Well, that is how do I put it? You can see that he commits the foul, Duquesne, and then suddenly the contact that he's had to his face after the foul has been committed means that he has to go down clutching it. It's overly dramatic, to say the very least. Kane doing his best to essentially kid the referee to make him not notice the foul that he had committed, and the referee was not falling for it. Suta. Nicely recycled. Hunting number 4 here, Hiroshima. To see that Luke Kane has made a quick recovery from that challenge that seemed to have him writhing around in so much pain. I am being a touch tongue-in-cheek in saying that. Notsuda over the corner. Notsuda's ball in. It's good, alert, brave goalkeeping from Murakami. Hiroshima keep the pressure on. And a card now coming out here for the Avispa Fukuoka player, just in danger of losing their discipline here in frustration. Chimiya goes in the referee's notebook. Confirmation there of the yellow card for Avispa Fukuoka's number 5, Chimiya. Just setting up his wall here, Saki Murakami. Do you feel like if Hiroshima get a 4th, they really will have one foot in the final? Not often you see a side come back from a score like that in a first leg. You think of Barcelona doing it against Paris Saint-Germain, and more recently in the 2019 season, Liverpool doing it, Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool against Barcelona, both of those in the UEFA Champions League. Very, very rare you see a side overturn such a big thrashing in a first leg. Hiroshima hunting more goals. They've been really purposeful and on the front foot and gone up another level in this second half. Got a clever little wall routine set here. 3 players in front of the organised Avispa Fukuoka wall. Over the wall. And away it goes. Not entirely sure what that routine was about. Curled over the bar from Tsukasa Shiotani. 5th and final change of the night coming here for Avispa Fukuoka. Here comes the Cameroonian striker John Mary. And on in his place. Comes Daichi Watari. Won't have too long to make an impact. And not an easy situation to come on and make an impact in either. So still the same starting 11 on the pitch for Hiroshima. Avispa Fukuoka have used all of their changes to try and alter the perception of this one. Little reverse ball. It's a nice reverse ball as well. Nogami cutting in. Confirmation there as well of the card for Douglas Vieira, who's cut something of a frustrated figure. Wema Delgado, beg your pardon, who's cut something of a frustrated figure for Avispa Fukuoka. He's barely had any service really up there. It's been a backs to the wall kind of evening for Hiroshima. Here at the best Denki Stadium, which has hosted a couple of Japanese international games as well. Slid in behind. Delgado might have one here though, and he does! Didn't they need that? Hiroshima get one back. I just mentioned how little service Wema Delgado's had all evening. But finally he gets some. He takes the half chance brilliantly. A cute little chip over the keeper. And Avispa Fukuoka have just a glimmer of hope here. Suddenly the whole place has come to life again. That's as loud as it's been all evening. Slipped through ball by Levain. He still had a lot to do, Delgado. And just dinked it over the keeper. Brilliant strike play. Brilliant combination play. And well. Maybe, just maybe. Still a long time to go in the tie, of course, as well. Only Wema Delgado's 3rd goal this season in all competitions. His 2nd in this one. Clear shirt pull there on Douglas Vieira. And suddenly you can hear the home fans doing their best to sing the Hiroshima supporters, who've the only noise you've been able to hear in the stadium for much of this evening. Still 1-1 in the other semi-final between Suiza Osaka and the Urawa Red Diamonds. In by Shiotani. half away. And that'll be a foul and a free kick right on the edge. Hiroshima brought down. A little bit of a scuffle afterwards between Mitsuta and then eventually a slightly reluctant shake of the hands between the two, Mitsuta and Morishima. First change of the night for the home side. It's the man who's done a lot to put them towards a place in the final. Takuma Karamura comes off. Scored 2 goals to take his tally for the club to 6 in all competitions this season. Tenshi Matsumoto comes on in his place. Free kick quite hit over the wall, hitting the very top of it. In, not cleared, and a brilliant block to deny Yuki Nagami. That could have been 4-1. It wasn't far off at all. It's in fact a substitute striker, Taki Watari. They're doing his defensive duties. And it comes again. All the way through for a goal kick. Happy there. Tsukasa Mitsuta, feeling like he was fouled. Referee disinterested. This ground with plenty of history on it. And winning 3-2 against Mexico in the Kirin Cup here back in May 1996, and also victorious against South Korea by 2-0 in the football final of the 1995 Summer Universidad. And 5 Rugby Union internationals played here, 3 of those in the 2019 Rugby World Cup. Italy versus Canada, France versus the United States, Ireland against Samoa. And Japan once won 121-0 here in the 2013 Asian Five Nations match against the Philippines. Also lost against Australia A here in the Pacific Nations Cup back in 2008. It's maybe more common in Japan than necessarily other parts of the world to see grounds being used for multiple different sports at the same time. It's relatively rare over here to have specialist football stadiums. Shot from distance, very speculative from Levain. He has made an impact since coming on. It was his through ball that assisted that goal for Delgado that just makes the tie look and feel so different. If they can get one back now, it's one of those strange situations where Avispa Fukuoka say lost this game 3-2. Obviously on the face of it, it's a very damaging defeat. They've conceded 3 away goals and they've lost their home leg, but it would almost, in a sense, not quite feel like a victory, but they would take a lot of momentum from the comeback at least. Coming in field. Ball through. Now linked on nicely. Yukane's going to try one. Too close to the keeper, Murakami. Osako makes the save. I've been quite slow to make changes in this game, but it does look like they're about to make a couple here. Hiroshima with Kosei Shibasaki and Nassim Ben Khalifa both stripped and ready to come on. Tsukasa Mitsuta seems to be one of the two to come off. Second player to come off will be Douglas Vieira, who has scoring 3 goals tonight. Hasn't necessarily had too many chances in front of goal himself. Scored 2 in this fixture when Hiroshima won 3-1 away at Avispa Fukuoka in the league in June. So Nassim Ben Khalifa comes on for Douglas Vieira. That will be a straight swap as the lone striker. And then Kosei Shibasaki in midfield supporting in behind. Kane brought down. A bit of a wrestling match between the two, the classic centre-back versus centre-half duel. He's up against Tsukasa Shiotani, who scored the second goal just after half-time. Seemed to have hurt his head in the process of that challenge. Have the weight of Kane on him as he fell to the ground, having wrestled Kane to it. And of course both these sides have had a long journey to get here. 10 matches to reach the semi-final stage. Comes the free kick. Home fans trying to whip up the excitement. Calling from May. Can't get it clear here, Hiroshima. Well won back. Good physicality. It's clear. To be chased, and he's certainly been given to it. Mia has to be careful. Trying to work their way back into this tie, Avispa Fukuoka. Great credit to them from 3-0 down. They've easily completely crumbled, but done nothing of the sort. Juanma Delgado's got one back for them. Got a foothold back in the contest. Of course, the second leg on Sunday. Tonight's game's at 7 p.m. local time kickoff. Sunday's at 5 p.m. local time start. Sanfrecce Hiroshima finishing top of Group B with 12 points from their 6 games. 4 wins and a couple of defeats in there. Team champions Nagoya Grampus finishing runners-up. Shimizu S-Pulse and Tokushima Vortis not making it through. So that slipped in behind. Heavy touch from Levain. Avispa Fukuoka meanwhile came through as runners-up of Group D. On the substitute, Mia. Avispa Fukuoka getting 10 points from their 6 group games. Just behind group winners Shannon Balmar, Jubira Iwata and FC Tokyo. Missing out on going further. And then in the playoff stage, Sanfrecce Hiroshima won 4-1 on aggregate across 2 legs against Hokkaido Consadole Sapporo. Helped primarily by a 3-0 winning the first leg. Away from home. Avispa Fukuoka narrowly coming through against the Kashima Antlers. Finished 2-all on aggregate via the away goals rule. And then in the quarterfinals, Avispa Fukuoka 3-1. Vissel Kobe. Sanfrecce Hiroshima 5-2 winners on aggregate against the Yokohama F Marinos. First quarters in early August. It's almost done now. Final will be on the 22nd of October. Free kick in a dangerous area. They've really grabbed the momentum of this game back here. Yellow card for that challenge for Kosei Shibasaki, the substitute. In by Crow. Only half away. Crow once more tees it up. That won't stay in play. Well, considering that they hadn't had a shot of any description until around the hour mark, fought their way back quite impressively here. Avispa Fukuoka to keep the tie alive. Fourth change of the evening coming for Hiroshima. Here comes Ilani Shun Sumiyoshi. In place of Yuki Nogami. Will likely be a straight swap in that right wing back area, but there's a possibility of a change of system here from Michael Skibby just to counter the resurgence that we've seen from Avispa Fukuoka. Whipped in, touch around the corner to try and set something up. That's managed to get a cross in. Ben Khalifa was in there, kept alive, and ends up flying over. Looking for that fourth away goal that really would be a sucker punch for Avispa Fukuoka. Who will want to believe that they're still just about alive in the tie here, which they are. Managed to win a corner here. Work down that left flank. There, Aoki Wako. In. Minutes of time added on at the end of this one, so plenty of time for Hiroshima to extend their advantage in the tie, or Avispa Fukuoka to continue their fight back. Hiroshima certainly don't look content to just sit on their 3-1 lead. Of course, a big few months coming up for the Japanese international side as well. International break mere moments away. Japan in action against the USA on Friday the 23rd of September. Then they play Ecuador on the 27th. Match against the Canadian international team on the 17th of November. And that all builds to the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar, which has been changed to also account for the climate in the Middle East, to being in November and December. Whipped in, flicked on wide. Japan have got a hideously tough group. They face Germany first up on the 23rd of November, and 4 days later they play Costa Rica. And then on the 1st of December they've got Spain, so they're facing 2 European heavyweights in there. We've also got a big year coming up with the Asian Cup, the AFC Asian Cup, from the 16th of June to the 16th of July 2023. And the most successful team in that competition historically, chasing their 5th ever victory. And runners-up in 2019, losing 3-1 to Qatar in the final. The tournament held in the United Arab Emirates. Japan, unsurprisingly, breezing qualifying next year's AFC Asian Cup with 8 wins from 8. Chance to shoot on the spin, and Levain nearly gets another one back for Avispa Fukuoka. What a big moment that could have been in the tie. What an important goal that could have been to take into next week's away leg for Avispa Fukuoka. He did get there first, ahead of Kazuke Osako. Well, credit to those home fans. It might have been overall a pretty disappointing performance from their side tonight, but they've stayed right behind them, particularly since Delgado got that goal back with one of them non-stop. Avispa to send this one forward. Grab themselves a bit more hope to take into the second leg next week. Good cross in, and they have got another back. Juanma Delgado scores his second, Avispa Fukuoka's second. And now suddenly they've really got a sense of belief back in this tie. Still got time to find an equaliser yet. But even if they don't, this could be so valuable going into the second leg on Sunday. Really good ball across from Sho Sasaki into a very dangerous area. Delgado, with the poacher's instinct, got the final touch. Well, it is a scoreline that you would say doesn't quite reflect how dominant Hiroshima were for the vast majority of this game. Prima Delgado has changed the complexion of this tie. With the second leg on Sunday, 5 PM start local time. Hiroshima all of a sudden were quite a strange one. 3 goals on the road, an away win. But it's Avispa Fukuoka who might feel like they've got the momentum. Headed on by Levain. This will be a card. Rudy Crow having his name taken, the Belgian. Doesn't look too happy about it. Full-time whistle. Moments away, you'd think. I wonder whether there might be a bit of almost additional time in stoppage time for the goal. That is something that referees do account for. Maybe time for one last attack for either side. Now the game between Cerezo Osaka and Urawa Red Diamonds. It's also in stoppage time. 1-1 there. That'll be our featured match in terms of English language coverage on the IBC J.LEAGUE Levain Cup semi-final second legs on Sunday on the J.League YouTube page. Do appreciate you joining us. Is there one late twist? You came with the header down. It almost fell for Crow. And that will be that. A thoroughly entertaining game of football here at the best Denki Stadium. Hiroshima totally dominated it for the first hour or so. Takumi Kawamura putting them in front in the 22nd minute, then 2 goals in 6 minutes after half-time. Kawamura's second coming after Tsukasa Shiotani scored as well. But late on, Juanma Delgado with a double in the 72nd minute, and then the 4th minute of stoppage time means that Avispa Fukuoka, who've never won a major trophy before, had never got past the quarter-finals of this competition until this run this season, still right in with a shout. Hiroshima chasing their 3rd appearance in the YBC J.League Levain Cup final after being runners-up in 2010 and 2014. Hoping that it will prove 3rd time lucky. The return leg on Sunday, of course. Really do appreciate you joining us wherever you've been across the globe for this thoroughly entertaining first leg semi-final clash as the players take the applause from the home fans. It will be Avispa Fukuoka who travelled to Hiroshima behind on the scoreboard, but oddly with a feeling of momentum from those late 2 goals. It finishes in the first leg of the J.League YBC Levain Cup semi-final. Avispa Fukuoka 2, Hiroshima 3.
勝ちました広島 今日2ゴール川村選手です。ナイスゴールでした。
ありがとうございます。
最後までやはり準決勝しびれる展開でしたけれども、今日の試合振り返っていただいていかがでしたか？
そうですね、やっぱり準決勝にあたって本当に硬いゲームでしたけど、うまく相手の隙を狙って先制点を奪えて、その後2点目3点目と取れたんですけど、その後2失点してしまったので、そこはすごく悔しいゲームだなと思います。
川村選手ご自身は先制点はルヴァンカップ初ゴールということになりましたが、振り返っていかがですか？
そうですね、個人的に最近点取れているので、感覚的にもいいので、ここにこぼれてくるのを予測してうまく決めれました。
2本目のゴールはドンピシャのタイミングだったというふうに見られましたけれども、あのシーンはいかがだったでしょう？
そうですね、もう本当にマイナスのところにこぼれてくると思ったので、あとは本当に隅に決めるだけでした。はい、
チームとしてはアウェーで勝ちました。3点取りました。この勝利は大きいんじゃないでしょうか？
そうですね、チームとしてすごく大きいですけど、まだ第2戦目があるのでしっかり準備していきたいと思います。
ありがとうございました。ナイス2ゴール川村選手でした。 それではスキッペ監督です。見事な勝利だったと思います。ただやはり準決勝緊迫した試合展開が最後まで続いたと思いますが、振り返っていただいていかがですか？
Absolut. Ja, es ist eine wahnsinnig robuste und körperlich stark spielende Mannschaft, Avispa. Und das haben sie bis zur letzten Sekunde gezeigt. Und dementsprechend wird es auch im Rückspiel genauso offen bleiben, wie es heute über die 90 Minuten war.
そうですね、アビスパ本当にフィジカル的に優れていて、本当にタフなゲーム展開で試合になったというふうに思っています。まあ、第2戦も似たような展開になるではないかというふうに思っています。
アウェーで勝てた、しかも3点取って勝った、これはチームにとってかなり大きいんじゃないかなというふうに思いますけれども、そのあたりはどうでしょう？
Ja, es ist Halbzeit und zur Halbzeit kann man keine Resümees abgeben. Für den Augenblick sind wir zufrieden, dass wir hier ein gutes Ergebnis erzielt haben und am Sonntag kommt es dann zum Showdown.
そうですね、まだハーフタイムなのでまだまとめるのは早いというふうに思っています。また日曜日に最終的に総合的に勝ってその試合のまとめをしたいなというふうに思っています。
最後になりますけれども、改めて次はホームの戦いです。抱負を聞かせてください。
Ja, wir werden versuchen, das, was uns bis auf die letzten 10 Minuten gut gelungen ist, wir werden versuchen, das Spiel fußballerisch zu bestimmen, wissen aber, dass der Gegner mit seiner robusten Art, lange Bälle zu spielen, immer wieder für Gefahr sorgen wird. Aber wir werden versuchen, unsere Art Fußball zu spielen, auf dem Platz zu zeigen.
そうですね、ここまで80分ぐらいまでやっていたサッカーでもう一度やりたいというふうに思っています。ただアビスパも今日のような体格フィジカルに優れたようなロングボールで、対抗してくると思うんですけれども、そういったところも考えながら自分たちのサッカーをもう一度、追求していきたいというふうに思っています。
ありがとうございました。勝ちました広島スキッペ監督でした。
ありがとうございます。